just settle into your meditation posture. And if your feet are down on the ground, make sure they're in a parallel position about a hip width apart. And something underneath your sit bones, pelvic bowl needs to be upright. Hands are in the Meditation Mudra, and that's the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And let's just imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. The head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down looking along the length of the nose, the tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. And relax the jaw. And let's just bring our attention to the crown. And relax your scalp, and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And the back of the head, relax the scalp there. And then relax your ears and think about going inside the inner ear. Relax the back of the neck. And the occipital area, the very base of the skull. And just notice when you do that, perhaps even your tongue relaxes. Relax the shoulder blades, the shoulders, the upper thoracic. And if you are sitting up against, on a couch or a chair up against a wall, try not to lean into that surface. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, arms, hands, fingers, legs, and feet and toes. And bring your mind to the breath. Notice the sensation of the cool air as you're breathing in and slightly warmer air as you're breathing out. And just allow your mind, your thoughts to flow. So try not to engage with the thoughts. And try not to engage with any sounds in your external environment. Welcome, Victor. And so just remembering the people of our life, the ones we love who are our dear friends at the moment, because it could change. The ones that we don't love so much and are strangers. And just remember they are all the same as us. We are all the same in our wish to find happiness, our wish to avoid suffering, and this unbelievable potential that we all have. I think we don't realize what a gift we have just sitting right there inside of us, just waiting for us to access it. So somehow we need to dig our way through our delusions and get in touch with what is at the core, which is pure, clear. So just bring the mind back to the breath, and just remembering this meditation is Vajrasattva in the context of the four opponent powers. And to remember that there is no negativity that cannot be purified. whatever it is you've done, never mind, there's a solution. So take some confidence in that and rejoice that we're alive and well and able to do this practice. And, for some of us who've not been feeling very well lately, notice how incredibly difficult it was to come to practice when you're feeling sick. So imagine, and then even if you're really sick and weren't able to come, so just rejoice you're well enough to be able to do the practice tonight. I mean, that's fantastic. And we take our health for granted, but it could change at any moment. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day or in this life and in all past lives. So think of something in particular that comes to mind. And if you like, we can use it at the end in the resolve, in the fourth step. So just reminding us, the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we will ourselves necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering we ourselves will encounter. So logically, we want to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And here we can just regret all of our delusions. And we engage in them day after day after day, and we think that they're just there permanently and they're who we are. But they are impermanent and they are not who we really are. They're just kind of a layer of dirt on top of who we really are. So we need to access that pure, clear stuff that we are really made of. So who can I turn to? What can I do about getting rid of these delusions? And these are the delusions are the main cause of why we harm others. So we come to a power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We purify ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can imagine this is the mind of your Lama, your teacher, your trusted mentor, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he is made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And there's this radiant, beautiful face. Eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. His mouth is red and very sweet. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. And you can imagine there's a 5-pointed crown on his head, embedded with jewels, and he has jewels around his neck and waist and wrists and arms and ankles. And he's wearing the silken robes in the Royal Indian style, and all these are just floating in the wind. And his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra representing the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so this little section on compassion, we need to develop compassion, and we need to rely on other sentient beings in order to develop compassion. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So we wish for them, both these sets of people, the ones we've harmed and the ones who've harmed us. We have a very strong wish in our heart for them to not suffer. We don't wish suffering upon them. We wish them to be free from suffering. And remember, particularly the ones who've harmed you, and try and develop this wish for them to be free from suffering, this compassionate heart towards them, because they are going to be suffering in the future because of the suffering they've caused you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all of these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, the doing of the practice of purification. And we first of all purify the body. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like very forcefully coming out of a hose from his heart, or it can be some kind of like strong shower head or your favorite waterfall. And it arcs around this nectar and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps coming and forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is the purification of our speech. And again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of his speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. So imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you and overflowing. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. So really imagine that it has been purified. And now it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. So when our speech is purified, when we don't use our speech to harm others, it gives us power. And who doesn't want to have powerful speech that can be of benefit to others? And if you want to benefit others, you need to have your speech clean so people will take notice of you and will want to listen to you. So the next is a purification of the mind. And imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And it's the same as when we walk into a room and flick on a light switch. That light instantly dispels the darkness of the room. So the same way, the instant the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, are all instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahazamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be so delighted that your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others, are completely gone. Instantly bliss. And so the next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. Excuse me. And this time imagine Guru Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. And you can imagine that, as we have been suggesting, you can do a couple of mantras each for the purification of the body, speech and mind. And then maybe one extra here, there. Or you can just imagine light and nectar, if that's all too busy, just flowing into you. And it fills you and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. And really rejoice and imagine how it is to be completely free from all of this muck sitting on our mind, being able to connect with who we really are. So next is a power of resolve, and it's a really important step in the purification process. So this is a determination to refrain from harming. And we start step by step, little tiny steps, as we've been doing. And you can also start by reflecting back on where you were at when you first started doing these practices, this Vajrasattva practice, whether with me or another person, another leader. And really, really try and encourage yourself with the progress that you've been making. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of courage to keep trying to do a little bit more. So think of something that you'd like to work on, and your kind of mental stamina is you're getting stronger, you're building muscle here. It's like sort of this muscle to refrain from harm. It's like moral muscle, ethical muscle. So you're building it, you're getting stronger. It gives courage. So just think of something that you want to refrain from, whether it be for 5 minutes or 30 seconds. So to conclude, Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union, oneness. So next, recommended by Lama Rinpoche, meditate on the emptiness with 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while, and this way think that all phenomena is empty. They do not exist from their own side. And the way we view the world may not be the way it actually exists. So we create some doubt in our mind about this concrete view that we walk around with all the time. Okay, so let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy you've created this evening by doing this purification to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the 3 jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduator path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, that's it for tonight. I'll see you all, or some of you, tomorrow morning. We're going to do Medicine Buddha meditation tomorrow morning.